Send out the tweets. Hopefully my mic does not go crazy. My microphone was sort of going in and out of being detected by my computer, and hopefully that doesn't cut off midstream at some point. But let's just get started, I guess. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and I can't talk today. Right off the bat. Let me start over. Hello, everyone. This is Chris Ingerson, and it is July 13th, and this is the July 13th TextQuest Devstream. All right, so today we're going to be addressing some of the feedback that I got at Indie PopCon this year. I have my notebook over here. The main thing we're going to probably be focusing on is fixing a couple of minor bugs that I don't think anyone really noticed, but I noticed because I made the systems and they shouldn't be behaving in that way. As well as trying to figure out some of the reasons as to why certain things were not behaving as expected. Specifically, I was getting a lot of issues with fading in and out. I don't know why it broke, but it did, at least in the build. So we'll go ahead and just get started to show you some of the pain points to see what I'm talking about. The first one that we're going to fix, and hopefully it should be fairly easy, is the fade in and out as you climb up a ladder. For some reason it doesn't really, okay, I was going to say good, I can continue. So we're just going to run through here, do all this stuff. Will the troll have moved? No. We can try this. Please move. Okay, interesting. Quick note, that troll does not seem to want to move in builds, but it works in the editor, which is just, wonderful. In any case, to show you what I mean, let's go ahead. I'm going to climb the ladder. So you can see how we have, and I guess I should probably mute the audio. So you can see that when I do this action, climb down or climb up, you can see that the background fades, but the text input stays up, basically, until it suddenly just vanishes. What should happen is that fade out that we see in the background, so if you pay attention to the back, you'll see it fade to black. That should be happening over the text input, not under it. So I'm going to go ahead and say climb down, and then as soon as I do that, I'm going to pause. Okay, so let's take a look at our UI. View container, and so it's not the loading run, right? Yeah, okay. Is it an overlay? Nope. All right, so our input view is down here. Is there nothing? Yeah, background fade right here. Oh, huh. Okay, so I guess I was just targeting the incorrect thing. Of course it was that simple. I must have been looking at a different fade. That's interesting. Well, in any case, that's a simple fix. Of course, we have to wait 5 minutes for the scene to stop playing. Which, by the way, I am going to be going to Unite Austin this year, and I am definitely going to bug the Unity experts about two main issues. One is this, how stopping or attempting to stop playing has this massive slowdown that just sits here for, I don't know, a good 20 seconds it seems. And then the other one is the global illumination issue that I'm having with the castle level. I have no idea why I'm having it, and it's infuriating that I am, but all right, so let's see here. We want to get fade view, background fade view. I saw it briefly over here somewhere. Classic fade. I think I was looking at this fade, but I want, so if I look for fade, fader, yeah, I was looking at this one, and that's at order 20, so I was confused, but I guess this one needs to be, I don't know, order 10. Let's go ahead and deselect. Let's go to our input view, prefabs. What order are you? All right, we'll make background fade order 15. And then that should fix the problem. Oh, crap. Oh, okay. I know what's happening. I know what's happening. Okay, I know what it is. I'm going to go ahead and open this up. Background fade view is a class derived from fade view that is meant to be used in my main menus. So I'll show you what that is. So when we play the game and we get to the main menu, we have a little scene that opens up in front of us, showing your most recent save file's current level. Now, it does this gradual fade from black because otherwise we would get a really nasty, just like a pop-in effect. So I made the background effect or the background fade for that. However, I was not careful when I did that because when I did that, that means that background fade view, which is derived from fade view, is the first menu of type fade view. So when I try to retrieve the actual fade view, this one, it's going to look through the existing menus, which sees background fade, and that's going to try to use that. That's why we're getting that problem. Okay. I now know what to do there. So I'm going to go ahead and go to fade view, find all references. Let's see. We should be able to see menu controls, global text plus scene loader, tutorial manager, background fade view, game over, non-standard input view. That's interesting. One of these things specifically must be referencing fade view, right? It's not going to be doing background fade view. Yeah, that's just the load menu label or level. Let's do find all references again. I'm just going to go down this one thing at a time. Global, get fade view. Ah, okay, yeah, I think this is it. Move, find all references. Come down here, move hero. Oh, I guess that's kind of a moot point. I can just do this. I believe I can say true here. Is that right? Nope. What's my overload? Ah, system type, specific type. So we're going to say type of fade view. All right. And I might as well just do this. So fade view is equal to that. Oh, and then that's fine. I'm just going to have to do this. View dot that. All right, and then we just got to do view dot. So we're going to cache it and then just reuse it here. All right, I'm guessing that this should work. Or rather, I'm hoping this should work. We will find out momentarily. Of course, it was something stupid that I did like that. God. And this is why quality assurance people exist, because people like me, who just barrel forward without retesting literally everything, won't notice that. All right. So... let's go ahead and do start. We'll continue. Let's run over here. The irony of this is I probably could just get away with having one single fade view. Please move. That I then just have at the appropriate depth, above the menus that it needs to be above and below the menus it needs to be below. Let's do climb. There we go. Simple. Very simple fix. Climb down. Open, I can still type, which should not be a thing. Yeah, I probably need to disable input whenever you actually climb. Okay, well that was a simple fix. The next thing I need to do is fix a loading screen bug, which I'll show you what that is. Oh, and I actually might be able to show you the. Oh no, I probably can. I was gonna say I can probably show you the global illumination issue, but I can't because I still have that code set to just save everything into memory. So let's go ahead and do start. All right. Oh, I completely forgot to show you the bug that I was going to fix. Sorry, I got fixated on the global illumination thing. Let's try this again. All right. So there's currently a bug where if you click off of the input menu, the input field down here, you can't click back on. And I had a lot of people at PopCon accidentally click off only to get stuck and not know what to do here. So I had to come over and say press enter. And it's fine if you do press enter, it'll just reselect it. But not a lot of people are going to think to do that because they should be able to click. So I'm actually going to pause while we're doing this, and we're going to take a look at our UI. Let's see, we should have loading container. We're looking at our loading. Let's zoom out here. So the fact that I can't click on this makes me think that there's some rect transform above it, basically, which really shouldn't be a thing, but I don't doubt that it is. So output label is here. We have our general input, our divide, our caret, then our input field. Text area. It'd be nice if I could just have a visualization for all of my rect transforms right now, but I can't really do that. So let's see here. Is our loading bar going to affect it? No, it shouldn't. It should all be up at the top there. Yeah, okay. Output label shouldn't affect it, which means that really only minigames should be affecting it, which it might be right here. Let me set this off from the bottom by, I don't know, 100. Let's go ahead and hit next. Return here. Okay, still can't click. So something else is doing it. Let's go ahead, open this up. Do I have anything going on here? No. Huh. I don't have anything over the overlay container because it shouldn't be blocking raycasts or anything like that. This is interesting. Why can't I reselect you? We have our placeholder. We have our regular text. Text area. Input field. What's interesting is that no other menu has this bug. It's only the loading screen, which is what makes it so weird. Because if it was anything, if it was happening everywhere, it'd make more sense, I would think. Because my setup for this should basically be the same. But let's see. I must be doing something really strange. So this is going up to the top. That's where its anchors are. Loading bar. All these things seem correct. Output label is not going over it, right? Well, you know what? I'm just gonna start turning things on and off to see if that does it. I'm also gonna turn off maximize on play. That way I no longer have to keep pausing. Let's see. So we can turn minigames back on. That's not it. Let me turn off output label. Not that. Turn off loading bar. Well, it's not that either. Interesting. If I turn off my cursor overlay, it's not that. Is there some other view that's open right now? The HUD. This is interesting. Overlay. Overlay. I don't. It's got a disabled. It's got two disabled sprites. That's interesting. I'm going to turn off raycast target on these. Okay, so the HUD is on. Crouch indicator is enabled, but it's not got any alpha. Reticle all seems correct. If I turn everything off, still can't click. I'm just going to go ahead and disable the entire HUD view. Nope. Okay. Well, this is interesting. I honestly don't know. This is very weird. There has to be something in front of this menu that's preventing me from raycasting it. I don't know what could be doing that. Are these not set to be raycastable? Yeah, right there, raycast target. Extra settings. Raycast target on the placeholder, raycast target on the regular text. If I hit enter and start typing, okay, so now I can't click on it no matter what. This is interesting. What could be doing this? So it's not the mini games, it's not the loading bar, it's not the output label, it's not the input. If I drag this above everything else and try it, nope, still can't click on it, which means that it's definitely not the input. I could just start turning off things above it. It wouldn't be these containers, would it? Loading container blocks raycast, but that shouldn't matter because whatever I'm doing is below it. Interesting. Huh. I am at a loss. I actually don't know. There's nothing that would seem to indicate that this is not working, but it's not, which is really weird. Huh. If I bump this up to like 3, still nothing, huh? Can't click. Interesting. Okay, well, let's bump this back down to 2, or to 1. Nothing. So weird. Okay. What could be doing it if it's not that? Let's see, minigames, input. There's nothing in here that I would think would block it. Turn off raycast target, all of which I think is actually making it harder. This doesn't make sense. Do I maybe have something that's constantly deselecting it? That would be strange, but I guess it's not impossible to imagine. Vertical scroll bar, there's nothing really here. Store on escape key, hide mobile input, read only. If I hit escape. Escape deselects it. Weird. What could... What is going on here? Excuse me. I'm not seeing anything really weird. And again, like if I open up, let's see, view container, do I have the turn on HUD? Not that it matters. Input view. So you can see input view is set up pretty much the exact same way. We have our input field, which is here. So we have our input, then our divide, and I guess, I mean, our caret is above it, but that surely can't be it, right? No. Okay. Let's see, text area, let's open this all up. Input field caret, placeholder, text, they're all in the same place. This is also weird. I said that to nothing and it set itself back. Okay. This is super weird. I'm going to just try doing this. Like, just out of curiosity. Wait, hold on. Why did suddenly my view loading get hidden? What is going on here? Like, look. Oh, it doesn't. It just hides the divide. Okay. Wait, this is actually super weird. I still can't click on it. There's nothing in front of it, and I can't click on it. Seriously, like nothing? Let's see, input field, the divide. Okay, hold on. Nothing. This is interesting. Then why, oh why would it? The caret isn't stretched super weird, right? No? And like no matter where I click, it's not selectable. Again, if we turn off the overlay container, that's still not going to solve the problem. Huh. I don't know. Is there something weird going on? No errors. Okay, well, fine. In these cases, I always have a backup. Well, not really a backup so much as a hard-coded thing that's going to happen. Let's see, we're going to come down here all the way to, I guess we'll check out its base class. Let's go to text plus view, peak definition, scroll all the way down to update. No, really, I don't have it. Okay, that's fine. Let's see here. So this is our loading view. Do I have, is loading? No, that's not what I want. Let's go to close, clean up minigame, on submit. Alright, we're just going to come down here and we're going to say private void update if is open. So if the menu is open, and then if not, how to do this? Input dot selected, I believe. Or there's a is selected, I think. On text selection. Huh. Is it really? Dot is active and destroyed is focused, I think is what I want. So we're going to say if it's not focused, which means that it's not currently able to be typed in, then we're just going to hard set it to say input.select field. I think this is what I want to say. I think. Peak definition. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to try that. And let's see if that gets rid of our problem. Oh yeah, speaking of problems, I did I made a new build on Mac with the full release candidate of 2017.1. Still getting crashes, which at this point makes me think that it is something I have done. But if that was the case, I would expect it to affect Windows too. So I don't really know what to do about that. I'm gonna probably need to post in the forums and be like, Unity, why'd you do this? Let's go ahead and do start. Continue. All right, let's try this. There we go. All right, so yeah, even if you click off, so if you do this, cool. So even if you click off, it's just going to reselect it, and now we don't have to worry about it. All right, I'm fine with that. It is still super weird that there is something apparently in front of it that I can't click through. I really kind of would like to know what it is. It has to be something else that's selectable. Otherwise, I can't imagine it wouldn't, or I can't imagine it deselecting like it did. Either way, all right, having it just force update is fine with me. Um, although it does mean that we're going to have this problem. That's interesting. It didn't clear the text. Yeah, okay. I'm actually going to have a couple of things that I do here. So we're going to go to loading screen. I am going to add a bool here that says private bool can accept input is equal to false. Then we're going to have public bool can accept input get return can accept input. And then on set, we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to say can accept input is equal to value. And then we're going to say if not can accept input. We're going to say input dot deselect field. All right. Peak definition. So it sets it as the game object, and then it. Oh, okay. I guess I should probably say if input dot is focused. No need to deselect it if it's not actually selected. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is something a little bit more complicated, which is going to be we're going to set this when the time is right. I believe I'm going to need to go to TQ scene. Really? Do I have is it TQ level loader then? Really? I think it's TQ scene manager. I apparently am wrong, so great. Let me think. Level transition. No, it's called scene loader, and it's not TQ. It was text west. That's why. Start load. Okay. So if is loading is equal to true, fade in. Let's go to definition. Oops, fade in coroutine, go to definition. And we're going to say at the end of this, can accept input is equal to true. That's interesting. I fade the actual alpha group. All right. Fade out coroutine is going to pretty much do the opposite. So we're just going to say up at the top here, can accept input is equal to false. And hopefully that will basically do it. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and go to definition here. And we're going to do a couple of things. So we're not just going to deselect it. We are also going to say input.text is equal to nothing. That way you don't get locked in with some really weird phrase typed into your input box there. So let's see if this works. start. Let's continue. See, that's another thing that I need to not allow. What the heck? Seriously? I don't understand. Why didn't it... Alright, I'm going to put it debug.log. Not lot. Log. Log. And it's going to say... deselect. Alright. Let's let that... Oh, right. We have to wait 5 minutes. So we'll let that test case run out. I'm curious if it's actually getting set, because obviously if it was, this should have happened. So let's go ahead and say on submit value loaded word, fade out, go to definition, fade out coroutine, go to definition, which can't accept input, should be equal to false. And yeah, that's interesting. So we try it again and hope for the best, because it's so difficult apparently for me to get loading menus to work. I miss the good old days when I could just synchronously load everything and not care. All right, so let's click through this. Let's go ahead and do start, continue, and let's check the menu out. Type the phrase quickly. I'm going to do start, and interesting. Really? It didn't happen. Okay. Why didn't it happen? Let's peek this definition. If not, can accept input, which we've set to false. Oh, I bet the input isn't focused. That's what's happening. Okay. I got you. So let's do this, I guess. We'll just move this up to here. Clear out some of this, and let's let that happen. Let's see if that'll actually work. I didn't even think about that. So I guess probably for one frame, after we hit enter, it's not selected. And then it'll be selected again, but by that time it will have already, been blown past that little chunk of code. So hopefully this will actually fix that problem. Oh yeah, and there's another issue right now with the builds. It's not noticeable in the actual editor, but apparently for some reason, and I have no idea why. Again, it had something to do with the update to 2017. There's a massive lag spike. So let's go ahead and test this out. Start. Okay, good. But it didn't deselect. Interesting. Okay, so I could have kept going. So I'm going to show you what I mean. We'll let this go. This is another problem I needed to fix. Ooh, that's a flag there. I'm going to type start, and then I'm going to mash again. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and come up here. I'm going to come down to update. Here we go. I need to say if can accept input and not input is focused. Okay, so that should fix that little problem. Is open if can accept input. I wonder if I should say else if not can accept input and input dot is focused. So if the input field is actually waiting for you to input text, then we're going to actually deselect it. So we'll say input dot deselect field. Except I can't type deselect apparently. All right, and hopefully that'll actually fix our little W problem. And what that is, when you saw those massive W's show up, is I'm holding the W key to move forward, and it's just going to start automatically detecting my keystrokes which means that you just get this massive list of W's going on. And a lot of people run into that. It's not uncommon. It's something that I've known about for a long time, and I just have not actually sat down to fix it. So it'll actually be kind of nice to get rid of this bug, because it has been annoying me for quite some time. All right. So let's click through this. Hit start. I'm gonna hit continue. Okay, same thing. So what should happen now is I can't type. Good. Good, 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 good. Interesting. I also have these missing script references on objects that I can't find, which is rather annoying. In any case, so start. Oh, that's interesting. It was fighting. Okay. Let's go ahead and stop playing. So it doesn't deselect it, it seems, when we actually start the fade in. Or something else is trying to reselect it, which would be very annoying. Let's see here. Wait for input. Oh, right, I remember that. The wait for no input was my solution for the W stuff, but it obviously didn't work. Let's see. Select minigame, select load amount, finish load. Fade in, fade out. Let's look for on submit. Else. Fade out. Okay. So current minigame check value and select input. But this shouldn't have happened. I wonder if on submit is being called because the field is being deselected. I would hope not. I'm going to go to definition here. Do we have an update function going on here? No. Do we have an awake function? Input on value changed. Check placeholder. Well, that's not doing anything, so. What could cause that, I wonder? And actually, I did get a deselect log. So it should have deselected it. Oh wait, no. No, it wouldn't. But it shouldn't be reselected though. So interesting. I'm going to stick a debug here. Log select. So we should be able to see when that script is selecting our input field and when it's deselecting our input field. I don't really know why it would have this problem. Maybe I should set can accept input to false here instead of just saying input.deselect field. Maybe. Well, let's find out. I don't remember anything off the top of my head that would give us this particular issue. Alright, let's go ahead and do start. Continue. Alright, oh wait, wrong way. I can totally hit W there. That's super weird. Okay, let's clear this out and try paying attention to it a little bit closer this time. Okay, so W is not working, which is fine there. Interesting. Nothing deselected it. Or rather nothing selected it. You can see that we don't have selected. That's a really weird word. Anyway, so you can see we don't have that debug log that should have come out. I guess then again, actually that's not necessarily true. I bet What happened there is open did it. So if we scroll all the way up here to open, we're gonna set player control, update cursor. That's interesting. Why do I update the cursor in the load screen? Okay, whatever. Let's go to base.open, peak definition. Input.text is blah, 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 blah. Select input. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to select our input, which is not super great. And this is what wait for input was supposed to do, which is basically saying don't do anything until we actually get a key, or we get a key down. So, okay. Select input and then listen for submit. It's interesting, but that doesn't actually stop us from typing. Okay. Maybe, what if I do this? No, we're not going to start coroutine. We'll just do input.deselect field. I'm actually a little nervous about that now. Start load, finish load, save, blah, blah, blah. Let's go down here, start coroutine, listen for submit. Right, so this is going to be a problem here, listen for submit. Because it's what listens for enter to be pressed. And if I don't start that coroutine right away, it won't really work very well. So, okay, hold on. Let's go to peak definition. Okay. That means that I'm going to have to add a thing here. So let's go to definition. Add a protected bool up here. Protected bool listening to input is equal to false. It's going to come up here, not select delay. We won't listen for submit. We're going to say listening to input is equal to true. We'll rename this to is listening. Is listening to input, and then down here we're going to say is listening to input is equal to false. All right. Now we can come up here to this, and we're going to say else if not is listening to input. And what is that while loop doing? Just while it's open? Okay, that's fine. If not is listening to input, start coroutine, listen for submit. All right. Yep. All right. I'm actually going to rename that to is listening for submit. All right. Let's get rid of some of these. Don't really need them. And finally, so we're going to deselect the field after we open it. We're not going to worry about this whole wait for no input thing. That shouldn't be an issue. Close on submit. Fade in. Okay. I think this will do what we want. So at the end of our fade in, we're going to set our mini game. And we will start, or we will set can accept input to be true. And then when we fade out, we'll do the opposite, so everything should be fine there. Let's give it a shot. Oh no, I didn't stop playing. Dang it. Now we gotta wait 5 minutes. Yeah. It's really annoying. All right. also going to unmute my tab. Okay, making sure that I actually was recording audio. Oh my goodness, I really need to time this. This takes forever. Okay. Wow. This is utterly abysmal. Well, while this is going on, I'm going to go to Substance Manager. And I'm going to show you the line that I had to comment out to make my global illumination stuff work. I'm going to uncomment that. So what should happen when Substance Manager builds its materials, it clears the cached materials and then builds whatever materials have been passed in. The point of that is that I don't retain references to substances that were in other levels. The Substance Manager really should only care about the level or the materials it's being told to build at the moment. Now I have a list of materials that have been built called cache materials, specifically so I can get around the global illumination issue, and to help speed up loading times, because if they're cached, then they don't need to be rebuilt at all. Unlike if they're not cached, and if they have been built, then they'll just rebuild faster. So this will show you the global illumination issue that I was talking about. So if we start and continue, when we go upstairs, assuming everything's set up correctly. Wow, really? It just, really? Hold on. Good. Okay, so we got rid of that. At the very least. Oh, and apparently, of course not. It just wanted me to look like an idiot. Well, in any case, so the global illuminations... Oh, you know what it is? It's because... Well, no. Oh, yeah, it's probably because I do actually still have some of those materials in memory. Either way. Oh, I completely forgot to test the thing I wanted to test. So, typing start, looks like we're fine here. It deselects right away. Pressing enter does not do that. So, that's not great. So this is a problem here. Jeez, really? Hold on. Let's go ahead and come up here to open. Where are you? Loading view. Here we are. So instead of saying just deselecting the field, I'm going to do a hard can accept input is equal to false here. That way it gets rid of the letter that you are typing. And once that's done, I think we'll be fine. Let's check. I might still need to have that coroutine that just waits until you actually release the key. Otherwise, we'll always get that that string of W's. So I might just have to have some weird little thing at the end of the fade in coroutine that doesn't just set the selection field right away. It actually waits for you to press another key. Let's go ahead and continue. Let's come up here. So I'm holding down W. It's still there, and now I'm getting that long string of W's. So let's go ahead and hit start. That's a problem, so I have to fix that. So I'm going to change how this works a little bit. Let's go down here to our fade in coroutine. I'm going to change this to say start coroutine, wait for no input. All right. And then down here, I'm just going to say can accept input is equal to true. So it's actually going to be impossible for you to set anything or type anything. And then, hold on. Oops, fade out coroutine. Can accept input. Okay. text quest view. Maybe I should say while is open and is listening for submit. No, that won't work. Okay. Crap. I need another way to basically stop this. Okay. Let me come over here to loading view. I have 3 coroutines, right? Fade out coroutine, fade in coroutine, and wait for no input coroutine. So let's go to where fade out coroutine would be called. Find all references right here. I'm going to, I guess, have to do just stop all coroutines here. And we'll see if that works. Because the problem is that I'm hitting enter and then it's reselecting it because of the wait for input coroutine. Or wait for submit coroutine. So we can't really do that. Alright. Let's go ahead and start playing. Okay, we're going to click through. Start. Let's go ahead and hit continue. Interesting. Okay, so it deselects it right away, which is good. So it's the going in part that I'm more curious about. It's still wrong. Really? Okay. This is rather infuriating. So let's see here. Stop all coroutines. Fade out coroutine. So that didn't do it? Or could it possibly have been the update down here counteracting me? Well, I certainly do reselect it, but I wonder if well, no, I stop all coroutines and then I immediately tell it to deselect itself. Oh, wait. Oh. Okay. Oh dear. Let me think. I might have to set is listening for submit is equal to false here as well. Because if I stop all coroutines, it might not fall through correctly, which means that is listening for submit would never be set to false, which means that when it comes back in here, it would not detect that it needs to set it to be true again. Which means that it would never actually start listening for input again. So that's the thing. I wonder if that'll help. This is rather annoying. You know what it is? Or rather, what I bet it is? I'd wager that the Unity UI system needs a frame to update for it to properly say if something is typing or not. Nope, actually it worked right there. All right, so it worked going that way. Okay. Try going back up. Will W still... This is problematic. Weird. Okay. So... It was definitely detecting my presses, my key presses. But only on the second one, so when it was opened again. That's interesting. Out of curiosity. Oh, look! Haha! I'm not crazy. See, I told you there was blue terribleness going on here. and I wish I knew why. I know it's the global illumination system, and I know it has to do with substances not being built. I think it's incredibly stupid that this is how it handles it, but this is what it does. In any case, I'm going to... This is going to be really weird. Pause while I was walking forward. Okay, let's go over here to our UI. Loading container view. Input. Alright. Input field. Okay, good. I was a little worried that it was typing while I was walking around, which would have been really, really annoying. So that does not seem to be the case, fortunately. Let's try going back downstairs, seeing if we still get the W issue. I'm actually going to do sideways, so I know it's... Yeah, so it's just holding A. Huh. What to do about that? Let's press this. Stop all coroutines for fade out. Start load, fade in duration. Go to definition, start coroutine, fade in coroutine, go to definition. And then we're going to... We have a start coroutine, wait for no input. This doesn't seem to actually be firing true. Or potentially a lag spike makes it so that it doesn't detect that I'm still holding down the W key? I wonder. I'm not entirely sure what else I can try here. It seems to have to do with the second time the menu is opened. It seems like it doesn't properly deselect the field. So the first time it's open, it looks like it selects the field, but it also just seems to not let you type, which is what I would expect. That's what I would want, but that's not what's going on here. All right, so let's click through here. Start. We're going to continue. I'm going to turn around and we're just going to walk. I'm holding down W. Okay, weird. And I'm still holding down W. I have not lifted it, but apparently that is enough to keep typing it. Harumph. Harumph, harumph, harumph. What can I do to get around that? Oh, I know what it is. Nope, I lied. No, I don't. Dang it. Yeah, the only thing that sets can't accept input to true is behind a while loop. So, okay, I'm going to put in a debug here. Debug.log. I'm going to call it pass. All right. We are still waiting for it to stop playing. So what should happen here is now I will detect when wait for no input returns true here, basically. Because what should happen is that as long as I'm holding down W from walking, it should detect, well, you're inputting any key, so don't do anything. And then once I let off, it should properly progress. But it seems like it's just going past this while loop. And the only reason I can think for that would be a lag spike, resulting from loading the level. I'm very annoyed if that is the case. I'll be very unhappy. But we'll find out once it actually compiles. Yeah, you'd think that it wouldn't be this hard to just have an input field not select itself, but lo and behold, Unity sees that I think something is going to be easy, and it's like, nope, you have to suffer. Alright, so let's go ahead and try going through here. And I'm holding down W. And you'll notice that this time it's not typing. I'm still holding down W, by the way. So this is the behavior I would expect, actually. This is what I want. Now if I let off of W and then press W again, it works. I can hit start. I can move around here. That all works as expected. We're going to do the same thing going back up now, holding down W. We get that, the highlighted W. Now we're going to get a bunch of strings. Yep. What is different? The only difference is that one time the menu was opened and one time it was not. And what's even weirder is if we let this go through, I'm going to go back down, and we're going to load up a save file from the sewer level. Oh, see, it's working right here. It's still working. I'm holding down W. Oh, what is going on here? Hello, what's did? Is that an automated animation whenever you're talking? Oh, it's detecting when my voice is going on, and it'll do a little bit of pixel art to match that. I'm actually working on a better version of it that's going to also detect when I'm typing, and then it'll do a typing animation, as well as some other poses, not just the two like standing straight up and then pointing. But yes, it is a little animation. I got this. Hello, cool way. Cool way. Cool way. Did I get it right? I want to get it right. I hope I did. I probably did not. Cool way. I'm going to keep saying that until it's either correct or not correct. So, welcome back, either way. Trying to fix a loading screen selection issue. Alright, and again, it seems to be fine when we're coming back from the castle, regardless of if it's been opened or not. But when we're coming from the sewers up to the castle, it seems like it's just always going to break. So, yeah, the "wh" part is what gets me. Um, it's it's like, what is it, Family Guy, the cool whip thing. There's like a slight H sound to it. In any case, so we're gonna hit continue here. All right, so I'm gonna hold forward, just W, and it's again, it's something about the W. This is so weird. Um, I'm actually okay. So we're gonna jump over to the overworld. I'm curious if this is a level specific issue, or if this is something else. I don't know what else it would be, because as we can see, it seems to work whenever we go from the castle to the sewers. So I'm going to go to the plains, and I'm going to try walking to the canyon, and we're going to see if we get the same issue. We might actually get a different issue because I don't think I have a cut or a mini game for that, but we'll see. But yes. Oh, you know what? I've been so rude. I'm sorry. What's it? How are you doing tonight? And also, Coolweir. Cool. How are you doing tonight? It's going to take me a little bit. I'm still getting used to the name. In any case, so we're going to jump over to the plains level, assuming I can navigate my own project. So scenes, overworld, plains. Oh, I probably have to rebake the lighting for this level. It's probably fine. I'm sure it's not going to look hideous. Yep, lighting data. Yeah, it's going to just be not baked light maps, so it's going to look terrible. We'll power through it. All right, so I'm going to try walking to the canyon. Oh man, I just got to redo the art for this level. Okay, so it's working here. Yeah, we got a null reference. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that was going to happen. Yeah. All right, so it works going from the plains to the canyon. Let's try going from the canyon to the plains. Doing good. I was going to bed 3 hours ago, but YouTube. And then somehow you came over to Twitch. All right. So we're going to have the same situation here. It's going to break when I try to do the loading screen. But if we get the initial W stuff working... Oh, crap. I forgot. Hold on. I have a test spawn. And it should not be on. See are the caves. Okay. So now if we hit play, we should actually spawn up where I can leave. I guess it doesn't matter. I think I could have climbed up the drawbridge. But all right. I'm going to keep walking this way. Interesting. So it's broken here too. Interesting. Indeed, internet is a fickle thing. That is true. Huh. W is broken. Okay, so it seems like it's almost random. Like some levels it works, some levels it doesn't. Let's try going back to the plains, seeing if we get the same consistent result. And if that's the case, I honestly don't know what the difference is. I don't know why some levels would follow the logic of the menu fine and other levels would just be like, nah, you gotta just get broken. It's weird. All right, let's run over here. Oh man, I just gotta completely redo this whole level. Jeez. Ah, it's so hideous. Sorry, I'm lamenting my old work. And it's working right there. What is going on here? Okay. Let's try going to the woods. Okay. Because if it works for the woods... Oops, oh good. I was a little worried that I wouldn't be able to get the lantern. Hold and light lamp. Alright. Works there too. Interesting. Huh. Well, see, that's the thing is the logic that's not executing should... The logic for the loading menu should exist independent of the level. And I don't know why certain levels seem to execute it perfectly and other levels seem to not do so. It's really weird. Because again, none of that logic should depend on the level. It's just about the menu and it's just about what you're doing with your keyboard. So it's really weird. Let's try going to the Hero's Grove. I think I have this transition set up already. At least I hope I do. We'll find out. It would be super weird. Actually, no, it's not. It would be. It is super weird that this is happening. Let's see. Let's look at our spawn points. I'm probably going to need to pause and disable a darkness zone, I'm guessing. Oof, this thing is brutal without light maps baked. And I just don't have a transition zone here. Okay. Environment, menu cameras. Okay, so I had just no way of transferring out of this level. Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. I gotcha. Well, this is rather infuriating. Huh. Let's try going back to the sewer level and seeing if we're getting this pass log happening. Because I forgot to actually look for that to make sure that it was firing. I hate the arbitrary 20-second wait. Oh, it kills my pacing so much. One of these days I'll figure out whatever this Unity issue is, and then I will be very happy. But until then, I must just lament and wait 30 seconds arbitrarily after clicking the stop play button. There we go. Alright, let's go to other, splash fade. Life is suffering. Yeah, I think the problem is, well, I don't know what the problem is. My assumption is that it has something to do with substances, but that doesn't really make sense because sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't. It's inconsistent. So What I was expecting is that it was loading substances into memory, and then that lag was it trying to unload all of those substances. But it's almost like it's a massive garbage collection that just keeps happening. I actually wonder if I profiled the editor, if I would see something. Yeah, I might actually look at that next. So let's go ahead and hit continue. Okay. Now again, holding down W. Oh, this time it's broken in the castle. That's interesting. Did we get a pass? Okay, we got one pass. Of course, I looked at that after I had left. Okay, yeah. So that's actually not that's an invalid test. I didn't have my console up. I accidentally let go of the W when I was looking at that. So let's see if it happens here. Have not hit pass, have not hit pass. Pass happened, even though I'm still holding down W. Okay. Can I change that? What if I say no, I can't do while input.get like any up, I think I can only do any down. Yeah. Ah, that sucks. Dang it. Mightinger? Yeah. Do you get the reference? I would actually be impressed. Not many people get that. I guess it's not really a reference, it's more of a just straight shout out. Or I don't know what you'd call that. In any case. So I don't know what to do here. It seems like this coroutine is being interrupted for one frame, or at least the input system is being interrupted for one frame. Oh, it is a fun word. It's the name of the it's the last name of Max Meitinger, who is the creator of the Helvetica font face or font type, I guess. Um, Man, this is nuts. So I guess. All right. Nuclear option. I really wanted to avoid this, but I don't think that I can. Um, Actually, hold on. You know what's even weirder is that this while input thing. Well, no, never mind. That's yeah. Yeah, I don't expect many people to get the references for names. A lot of the names in the castle are taken from typography and people who made typography. Um, Geez, this is really driving me nuts here. There. So I'm gonna come up here to open. We're gonna go to base.open, peak definition here. We're gonna go to base.open again, and I think this is just the regular game view, right? Yep. Okay. So virtual void open, close others, show cursor. Okay. So I'm going to, I think, have to move all of that logic into this open. Unfortunate, but probably necessary. Peak definition. Um, just because I think there's a lot of stuff going on here that, well, mainly it's this. I don't want to select input, and I don't want to start this coroutine. Oh, immediately found what the problem is, I think. Um, so, can I just pretty much immediately say stop all coroutines here? And then say is listening for submit is equal to false. Okay. Let's see if that does something. Because now I don't have any of the base coroutines running, or at least I shouldn't. Fix the flag issue. What was the flag issue again? Yeah, fixing stuff often takes way longer than it really should. As you can see here, I have been working on this bug for 45 minutes. Maybe a little bit longer. Maybe almost an hour now, actually. It really should not be taking me this long, but it does, because of course it does. Start, continue. Alright. Now, what should happen... Good. It didn't select it at all. Good. Okay, that's actually the behavior I want. And then we're going to start. Deselect it again. Good, 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 good. And we're going to come back up. Yes! Yes! Alright, that fixed it. Yes! Yes, 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 yes. Start. I'm going to... Uh-oh. That was weird. Did I misspell start? I'm going to watch my stream. Dang it, I missed it. Ah. Okay. That was weird. I had to type start twice, unless I misspelled the first time. Which I didn't think I did, but maybe I did. Holding down W. Everything's working. I'm going to keep holding down W. Good. Good, 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 good. This is all wonderful. Start. Alright. That fixed it. Hooray! Yes. Yes, 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 yes. How wonderful. There, yeah. So, let me look at the video real quick. I typed start, and it didn't go. Interesting. Oh, you know what? I bet it was. I bet it was the other thing that I need to fix. I almost completely forgot about this one. Does it still say it? Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh, but it does there. Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I've got some other minor problems to fix here. So I'm going to hold W. Let's see. Still writing textures here. Type start. Okay. I think what happened is that I typed too fast. Because it won't... You can't actually type start and hit enter for it to close the menu until the level's done loading. So maybe I actually typed it a little too soon and hit enter. It's entirely possible. Either way, crap, I did not mean to do that. Actually, no, I mean I had to stop playing at some point. I need to start playing it again so I can see what the initial text is going to be in the input field. Yeah, that's exciting though. We fixed that little user problem. So a lot of loading screen bug fixes tonight, which is good, I guess. But I'm kind of mad that I have this many bugs to fix in the loading screen alone. The next thing we got to fix in the loading screen is it keeps the text in the hint field, or not the hint field, the placeholder text field after it closes, which means that it still says type start to continue as soon as it starts to show the loading screen again, but it really shouldn't do that. So let's go ahead and do start. We're going to do continue. All right. Let's see what the initial text is, because I honestly don't remember. It just says enter text. Okay. So we're going to hit start. And then we're going to go back in. And if you look right at the bottom, you'll see it says type start to continue until it gets to the mini game, and then it tells you to do it again. Oh yeah, so that's what happened, yeah. I typed start and hit enter and nothing happened. That's because it was still loading textures. So does that mean that... Am I just doing it because I'm not paying attention to my own instructions, or does it actually tell me to type start before it's ready? No, it doesn't. Okay. Yeah, I think it was just me not paying attention to my own instructions. So we're going to let this go for a second here. Right, okay. Okay, I think we're good. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and we'll test it out. Hit start. Okay, it works. So stop playing. I'm going to come back up here. Loading view. Input text is going to say, you know, all this stuff. That's going to be fine. And then we're actually going to, let's see, where is my select mini game? Placeholder label.text. Here we go. All right, so we're going to grab this, come up here to open, and we're going to say placeholder label.text is equal to enter text ... All right. So now we should have pretty much all of the usability issues fixed with the loading screen, or at least I'm hoping we do. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of my unneeded debugs now. Let's go ahead and streamline some of this, make it a little bit nicer to look at. Come down here, get rid of you. I also need to change my entire loading screen presentation. Not a lot of people play the mini games, and they kind of get confused because you have to type start, but then they were also playing mini games, so they try to decipher that, and then they get stuck at the loading screen. So I think I'm going to change the loading screen to instead be a little animation of your character, sort of like doing a 2D representation, sort of like a Dwarf Fortress, basically. Just you going down a staircase or something. I guess it would be different for each level, obviously, or each level transition, but the idea being that it's just a little animation that plays out. That way it's a little easier to look at, and you don't have to do a mini game. I wanted to do a mini game, I really did, but I can't really think of a way. Excuse me. I can't think of a way to make it fun. Beyond, I mean, just the thing that the stuff that's there right now is okay, but it's not really fun. So I'd like to just do a little bit of an animation. The reason I haven't done that is because, well, it would take me a lot more. It'd be a lot more effort. And it's not really the effort part that's doing it, it's the time consumption part that makes me not do it as much. Okay, so we're going to do this, then we're going to come back upstairs, and it's going to say enter text. Good, good, good. Unscramble the word. All right. All right, so that is the loading screen bug. Nice. And then the blue. The blue just murders me. I hate this happens. So for those who haven't seen me run into this bug before, notice how all the shadows are tinted blue. Something about not caching the substances and rebuilding them when this level is being loaded causes all of the global illumination in the scene to tint blue. I have no idea why it tints blue. It didn't used to be blue. Sometimes we would get green. I think once I got red. But it used to be green. Now it's pretty consistently blue. And it's fixed if I store all of the substances in this level in memory, and I don't have to rebuild them when I'm loading the level. So it makes me think that it's because the substances aren't built when it's trying to do global illumination calculations. And I don't know how to fix that. I've tried basically setting it up so it rebakes, well, not rebakes, but like refreshes the global illumination system when you come into the level, but that doesn't seem to do it. So I don't know a solution for this, honestly. Besides just keeping everything in memory, which is stupid. So, all right, and this is a fun little thing too. You might notice that I'm like bumping as I walk to the right here. So when I walk to the right, you'll see me bump up. There must be a collider or something that's breaking here, because it's actually possible to get stuck here. Well, not stuck, but like weirdly that. I don't even know what that is. I'm not jumping or anything. It's just like me falling through and then getting pushed back out. It's really weird, is my point. I'm going to try and pause so we can see that. And I'm going to look at my objects here. Okay. It could be... Maybe it's because these two colliders are running into each... Oh, I bet I know what it is. It's... freaking not that. It's this. So you can see the two mesh colliders here. This one is a wall, and it's probably catching me right about here. And it's trying to push me out, and then that's pushing me up at the same time, I'm guessing. So I'm basically running into just a weird collision thing here. Okay. That is something that I can fix, I think. That's just going to happen like all. Yeah, that makes sense. It's happening all along this staircase. I was wondering what was happening there. I have found out what's happening there. Okay. Well, there we go. Um, yeah, because every other staircase has this manual collision object on it. But yeah, okay. So that's something I think I can fix relatively easily. I think the thing I would just have to do is freaking UI. Oh my goodness, I hate that the UI is so big. It gets in the way. So I think the thing is I just need to make sure that my ramp is, I guess, drawing on top of these, or maybe I can change the mesh collider. Yes, I know, UI. Instead of having it, no, that wouldn't work. Well, it would work, but it would require extra modeling. So I'm essentially going to need to have a separate model for the collision here, which is gross, and oh, it's really gross. Oh, it's so much worse than I thought. Oh, no. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, gross. Yeah, so it's going to require some mesh work to redo that. That's something I'm going to have to do off stream, just because it would be very, very tedious and boring to watch me fix that. Also, it's going to take me much longer than I have tonight, so. All right, let's see. Let me grab my notebook real quick. Let's see, what were the next couple of bugs we need to fix? We could try to get insert keys and doors to work, because that logically should work, but it doesn't. Let's see. Some minor combat things that need to change. I do need to actually redo all of my combat cutscenes in Timeline, which is great. And I guess I just need to... Actually, you know what? That's an interesting idea. Okay. Well, no, that's not something I can do on the Devstream. Dang it, I have like some weird... Oh, actually, you know what? Something I want to test. Let's go ahead and play again. Is combat, or the combat fade-in. There's a weird problem in builds, but not in the editor, for combat. When you initially start combat, you should have a sort of like fade-in black bar wipe that happens, and it seems to work in the editor. Let's go ahead and we can just continue. Here. But in builds, for some reason, it's broken. So I would like to see if we get any sort of weird error or log when combat starts. Let's come up here. Punch the troll. I'm gonna mute the audio too. Dang it, I didn't pay attention. Let's look at the video stream. Interesting, it's not working at all on the video stream either. Well, on the build. So let's go to UI. View container. I might know what the problem is. Or at least I bet I know what the problem is. Let me guess. Battle fade view. Derives. Oh, no, it doesn't. Okay. Well, never mind. Interesting. But nothing is doing it. Interesting. Oh, this is the wrong battle fade view. Never mind. Okay. Let's go to combat. Root. Combat area, hint info, input positions, player info. We don't want input info, combat area. Combat declaration. I don't remember what these are. Oh, it's those, okay. So combat info is, yeah, it's that. Interesting. So what should happen, let's go ahead and just open up combat. Did I put it under loading? Ah, here we are, view combat start. So what should happen is there are, zoom out at this. There are basically heck is it? Ah, there it is. There are basically these black bars that should slide in and out. Oh, they're probably not rendering right now, are they? I bet I set their canvas renderer to be invisible. All right, well, let's just go ahead and look at this. And then we'll stop playing. So what should happen is we should sort of have like a shutter effect where we have a black bar on top and a black bar on bottom, and they're completely covering the screen. And then they move up and down to sort of look like they're opening. But obviously that didn't happen. And it never happens in builds, but it has happened in the editor, like it should. So it's weird that builds are broken. Let's go ahead, and we have our 30 seconds of waiting. So start transition. Let's look for it again to see if it shows up. Let's see. So I'm doing fillimage.color. Fillimage.enabled, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I mean, it seems like it should work. Do anything with the top bar? Yeah. Huh. All right. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to hit play. And we will figure this one out. Because I bet it's something stupid. Because 99% of the time, it is something stupid that I've done. So we're going to hit continue. Run over here. We're going to fight the troll again. And when the battle scene starts, we're going to pause. Okay, let's look at our UI, our loading container, combat start. Fill image is totally white, which is fine. And there. So now you can see the black bars that happened. That's what it should look like. But it didn't happen the first time. Right? I'm not crazy. I might be crazy. Well, let's flee, and we'll try it again. Okay, that should be enough. Nope, I got a critical flee. Well, that's an oversight. Okay, let's go ahead and hit the troll again. Okay, keep an eye open for those shutters. Okay, now it's working. Because obviously it wants to work when I'm showing it to people. Okay, well, to show you what I mean, we're actually going to play the build. Let's go to Game Development, Unity, Text Quest, Builds, 2017, and it should be fine. Oh, and this will actually let me show you this new 2017 bug. So after I updated to 2017, I have this massive dead time after the Unity splash screen. I have no idea what's doing it. It did not happen before I updated to 2017. And it lasts for something like 15-20 seconds. And there's just nothing going on here. This is loading into an empty scene. So I have no idea what is taking it so long. In any case, let's go ahead and... Oh, good. And I've already killed the troll. Dang. Let's see. Can I load? Not really. All right. So I'll have to do a new game. Let's do this real quick. Yes. No. Right. Green. Yes and yes. All right. Stuck by your handsomeness, perhaps. Yes. I've heard that I have a face that could kill. All right. Now we're going to go through here. And we have to watch the wizard cutscene. Which, fun fact, speaking of all of the typography and people who made typographical faces, all of the names at the top of the ceiling here are names of people who are historical figures who helped basically form fonts and typography as we know it today. So Peter is based off of Peter Schopinger, who was Gutenberg's assistant, I believe, and he's the guy who came up with the font face for the first Gutenberg Bible. In any case, let's go ahead and go through here. Open, pull. I didn't know that all offhand. I did have to do research. I don't have a typists. I don't have a background in fonts. But about an hour and a half to 2 hours worth of research, and it gives you some pretty decent material to work with. So, I swear I did not know all of that off the top of my head. My head is filled with pop culture references, not actual historical relevant information. All right, so let's hit. So now, if you watch, see it just pops in. There's no way to just. There's no sliding going on. I have no idea why. And keep in mind, we have not touched any of the code for that menu in the editor yet, but it still works in the editor. So I have no idea why it works in the editor, but not in a build, because I don't get errors. I don't think. I guess I can look real quick just to make sure. Let's see. Cannot play. Failed to issue albedo update. Text container not necessary. No errors. It just doesn't work in builds, and I don't know why. But that's probably not the best thing to test or try to fix right now, just because obviously it works in the editor, and if it works in the editor but not in a build, we can't really test it unless I constantly make builds, which would take a long time, especially when I'm trying to stream. So let's see. Is there something else we can fix? I love addressing feedback. It's actually pretty fun. Let's see. Unlock with key. Blah 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 blah. Oh, I can probably redo some of the help text. Oh, actually, there's another. There's a bug that I can fix. Let's continue. Something I gotta fix is this. For some reason, the move keys just are empty. No idea why. Seems like a very weird thing to happen. I'm not blaming it on the stream. I'm just saying that I don't want to do something that's very time consuming and CPU intensive while I'm also streaming, because, you know, that would probably cause problems for you guys. In any case, so let's go again and hit the troll. And we should see the fade in, and it should work just fine. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it's infuriating. Why does it happen in the editor but not in the freaking builds? All right, cower, flee, escape. We should be. Oh wow, it is doing very well. Man, the troll was on a roll there. It almost never gets 3 for its combo. All right, I'm going to go ahead and hit H again, and I'm going to just double check my string here to make sure that it's not doing something weird with maybe rich text. I cannot imagine that being the case, but you never know. Obviously, every time I assume something will work, it breaks horribly. So, let's see. Output, scroll area, text section. This is just going to be the H, I think. Yeah. Interesting. It's just empty. All right. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and go to... Oh, boy. I think I need to go to the parser for this. Let's see, parser. Here we are. And what we're going to do is so H is a command word, which means that it gets sort of a special parsing treatment, which means I need to go to check for commands, I believe. Check for or I guess we'll look for. Oh, that didn't work. I started typing in the wrong place. Check for. Yep, apparently it doesn't have anything. Is it just commands? It's just called check commands. Of course it is. Let's see here. Command use blah 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 blah. Do input control. All right. I think I need to do this. So we're going to say peek inventory verbs help. Here we are. Help text. We're going to go to definition. Move. And interesting. Oh, okay, I get it. It's defaulting to empty because there's nothing there. Oh, okay, that's fine. So I will just manually put these in, I guess. Weird, I thought I would have defaulted to these, but I guess not. Okay. So that should work now, I would think. Let's go ahead and try it. I don't know why I wouldn't give it safety strings. Huh. What I probably should do is actually, we'll just have it be W. That's fine. See if that fixes our little bug. Can you change the keybinds of the movement? So right now the key binding is not, it doesn't work because when I first started work on it, I hadn't actually implemented everything. So eventually, yes. Right now, no. You can affect currently things like toggle sprint and toggle crouch. So if you're an insane person and you don't like toggle crouch, you can have it be so that you have to hold down the crouch button. Or you can set it to be if you press shift, you'll keep sprinting until you press shift again. But yeah, in the future, it will actually let you customize your key bindings. We're going to do continue. Let's try help. There we go. So that seems to work. Oh, but interact is now broken. Okay. Weird. Okay. So, yeah. I'm just going to go ahead and be safe here. I'm going to say keycode.w.toString. So it's going to be a lot of this stuff, key codes to strings. And .a s. Yeah, my philosophy as far as key bindings goes is that you always need to allow for rebinding keys, but also you need to put in as much effort as possible to make your initial configuration make sense. Key code, so this is sprint, so I want left shift. Jump is going to be key code space bar, or space, I guess. Let's see, crouch is going to be key code dot left control. Let's see, what's the next one? Interact is going to be keycode.e. Inventory is going to be... Wow, I also just realized that this is horrendously inefficient. Because this is a giant string that's constantly getting replaced. Jeez. If you default to WASD, would it still show WASD if and when you change the keybinds from WASD? Yeah, so that's what this little check is. It's supposed to get whatever the key bindings are. So it'll default to the key binding W, but it'll look for the key bindings that are actually set up first. And this little keycode.w to string should never actually happen. It's more of if you start the game, you press H and you haven't set any of that up, it's going to need a default string and a default key binding. So it's going to default to W. But if you actually set it up ahead of time, then it's going to, bind to whatever you want it to be. Inventory, I'm just going to go ahead and say I. And help will be H. Or input. Oh, that's going to be enter. Okay. Yeah. Or return, I'm sorry. And then the last one, pause, should just be escape. And before we're done, I am actually going to come up here. Oh, good, I am doing system.txt. So this is going to be a string builder. String builder. new string builder. There we go. And also, just so you're aware, these strings had to be carefully spaced out like this because they need to properly line up and do all that fun stuff. In any case, so all of this should be fine, and then I can just say ht.toString at the bottom. So now I don't, that's actually a nice little happy accident coming here to fix this. So now instead of making 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 separate strings, I'm now making one string builder. Hooray! Reducing my garbage collection, or my garbage generated, I guess. That always makes me happy whenever I see a really old code that's super easy to fix and make it run like twice as better. Twice as efficient. Let's see. Is there anything else I can really do today? We actually blew through some of the stuff that I thought would take me a little bit longer. Combat. These are all notes that I've already done. Check fade view and input draw orders. That's something we already did today. Material scroll on sewer. Fix that. Check materials. Fix that too. Fix the input field being deselected. Man, blew through pretty much all of the notes that I had. There are a couple of larger notes, but not super great to do on a... Well, we can probably start on some of them. I'm just going to test this to make sure that it works. Let's continue. And I'm going to press H. Cool. Yeah, all that stuff seems to work pretty well now. View a list of verbs, type V. Oh, you know what we can do? We can change our use output. So currently if I try use troll, this is what happens when you type use in the game. It says use is a vague word. I randomly assume you wanted to perform the troll. What it does is I don't want people to just be able to say like use X on Y and have it give you the correct output. So I thought it would be funny if it just randomly picked a verb to do because use could literally mean anything. When you say use key, it's implied that you want to do, use the key to unlock a door or something, but I don't want to just let people type use to win. But unfortunately, this is too confusing. People just type use and then they're like, I don't know what that means. Does that mean I should start trying to perform troll? It's so weird. So we got to change that text to not do that, unfortunately. Which probably means that it's going to refactor how use is done entirely. I'm actually not sure what use is. I don't remember if it's just a verb with all of the verb types. Well, hold on. This is actually going to be slower than me manually opening up the dictionary. So we'll go to the dictionary spreadsheet to see what it's doing. All right, let's go to design and dictionary. All right, so let's scroll down to W, if it'll let me. Or not W, just U. Use. Shelves, slabs, smash, spiders, all the S's. Here we are, use. It's just tagged with everything. Okay. So, how wonderful. I probably need to change it from a verb to a command, and then have it just say something like, for a more specific list of verbs, do this. I think what I'm going to do instead is, let's see, verb types. Do I have... Interesting, what did I change in here? Sorry, there's a weird line change here? Okay, fine, whatever works. Let's look for use. I have a couple of things for use showing up. I have it you used, just a lot of you used probably in a way that I'm not expecting. Let's come down here. Use the preposition, use its index, use the actual nouns themselves. You used. All right. I'm just going to say, I'm going to look for vague, because if I look for that across my entire project, that should give me what I want. Here we are. It's an interactive object. Okay. Hello. Is that Blu-ray? Like Blu-ray, but Blu-ray? Anyway, welcome to the stream. As you'll learn, I'm terrible with names. But yes, so the parser class is by far the largest. Is it 21 lines or 2100 lines? It's almost 2100 lines. But that's also because it's a giant parser. It's trying to parse the sentence that you type in and break it down into its different components. So it has things like the noun, the verb, any adjectives that you use, other or compound sentence indicators, indirect objects, all that thing. So it has to cycle through a bunch of logic to actually parse out a sentence. And then of course it has to validate it, make sure that it makes sense. So if you type in the sentence like open burn, that makes no sense because there's two verbs. So it's like, I don't know what you want to do, and all that sort of thing. Also, it has to do things like check for commands and check for profanities and whatnot. So yeah, it's 2100 lines of pure grade C#. And it's pretty robust. I don't think it's actually broken right now. I think it's stable. As long as I don't add or remove anything from it, it should work just fine. I do have go-tos, because there are some pretty nasty nested loops. And if I don't use go-tos, then I have massive breaks that I have to use instead. So I probably should get rid of this for each loop and probably just make it a string or a for loop instead. Yeah, the parser class is by far the crown jewel of this game. I am super proud of it, even if there is a little bit of messy code in it, admittedly, because this was the first thing that I wrote, which makes sense because I can't have a text-based adventure without a parser. But don't change it. Yeah, no, you have no idea what the process is for adding anything to the parser, because I become a complete wreck for 2 weeks, constantly trying to find bugs because I get super paranoid that anything I've added will just break the chain of logic and make it not work. For like one very specific use case. So, oh yay, we hit the Nightbot thing. Aha! Sorry, I'm still super excited whenever that pops up because it means my chat is actually going. Anyway, so lost my spot. I was going to interactive object. Here we are. So we're going to change this to. For now, I think what I'm going to try to do is, I still want it to randomly do something, and what I'm going to do is, instead of clearing this out and not letting it randomly pick a verb, I'm going to append a little thing at the end of this output that just says for a list of verbs, input V or something. God, this is such a massive, terrible line of code here. All right. I could make this a string builder to make it a little bit more readable, but all right. I'm instead going to just do this. And then for a list of verbs, type V. Okay. So let's see what that looks like. Yeah, building a parser is... Really? I didn't realize that it took 7 strings to really equal that. I mean, it doesn't really matter because that's just one big string concatenation, which is only, one string. It's still nasty to look at, but, it's not terribly inefficient. So, yeah, I mostly just don't like having... one of my pet peeves in code is having a really wide line, which is exactly what this is, but I don't really know a better way around it, unfortunately. Yeah, I never said I was doing a good thing by adding to the line. You'll find that I'm very hypocritical when I talk about a lot of stuff with code. Python guys would scream. Python is way too forgiving, I feel. Although it's not like Swift, Swift drives me nuts whenever I have to look at it, just because you don't have to end your sentences or your lines of code with semicolon. And they're just like, how does it know? How does it know to stop? Ah, it's so hideous. Uh, anyway, so let's go ahead and type. I don't have anything in my inventory, do I? We'll just do use troll again. Use troll. Use is a vague word. I randomly assume you wanted to exit the troll. For a list of specific verbs, type V. Let's change this so that for a list of verbs comes up after uses a vague word. So it'll say uses a vague word, new line. For a list of verbs, type V, new line. I randomly assume you wanted to exit the troll. That's a little terrible because it means that my sentences can get up to like 4 or 5 lines here for just typing use, but it should be fine. All right. So we're going to move this up to here. And we'll do another new line. Okay. See what that looks like. And then we have our 20 seconds of waiting. Can't go over 72 characters a line or some other... Oh, yeah, for Python. Yeah, thank you. I'm glad you like it. It's definitely one of the best ideas I've ever come up with. But I'm also a little biased, so, you know. Yeah, we're finally at the point in the development of the game where I'm mostly focusing on art and design, because the mechanics, I think, are pretty much all in there. They need to be refined a little bit just for usability reasons, but yeah, there's like, I think right now you can do things like you can combine items, you can insert and extract items from objects, you can, well, I mean, we can just do this. Oh, I guess I have to do this. You can do like all of this. Oh, I lied. Perform and select are still kind of weird, because they don't have any uses right now, but they will later on in the game. And perform is going to be the really tough one for me to implement, because that means I have to come up with an interface for that in a text-based game. And rest should be fine. Not too worried about that. Actually, rest might... I'll keep it in there. Might not be very useful anymore. But you can speak, and that system's getting better. We're working on that one now. And then insulting, of course, is just wonderful, because you can insult everything in the game for a terrible pun. I think every game developer thinks their game idea is the best idea. Anyway, so we're going to say use... I guess I can just say that. So use is a vague word. For a list of verbs, type V. I randomly assume you wanted to rest the troll. You can't do that. Yeah, insult the troll. I will. It's not a good pun for this one. I don't like this pun. It's just bad. Not even like bad funny. It's just bad. Some of them are actually pretty good. I think my favorite right now is for insulting a bed. You tell the bed you don't give a sheet. But yeah, for the most part, they're really just bad forced puns. But yeah, I don't know why, but early on in development, I'm like, very important that you can insult everything in the game. No value whatsoever, but it is very important. So let's see what use looks like again. Uses a vague word. For a list of verbs, type V. Can we spice that up a little bit? So for a list of verbs, type V. Maybe I can say to see a list of verbs. To see a list of verbs. Yeah, to see a list of specific verbs, maybe? No, just to see a list of verbs. Okay. Yeah. So the textures. Oh boy. Hold on. Let me do this real quick. To see a list of verbs. There we go. All right. So the textures are actually materials. They're made with substance, which is a fancy procedural material system created by Algorithmic. And basically, I make SVGs in Adobe Illustrator with font, and then I bring that into Substance. I make this really amazing normal mapped, albedo, ridiculous, like way over the top material to make everything look good, and then I bring that into Unity. I'll show you what the textures look like up close, because they have nice little normal maps on them. So wood doesn't just say wood anymore; it actually has wood grain to it. So I'm like, I went insane with the level of detail because I personally believe that the devil's in the details. So you want to like cram as much information as possible without being overbearing. And it's just one of those things where, even though it seems like it's a lot of effort, if even one person sees it and likes it, then I think it's worth it. So if I look at the pipe, you can see that there's. Oh right, I think the textures are a little low res right now. They might be in 512. Either way, you can see that there's stone imperfections, and pipe has. It's a little soft to see, but you can see there's sort of a metallic rust to it. And for a more easy to see example, if I rotate this, you'll see like pipe has magic flowing through it, and it actually says magic and all that. And then if we're closer to lights, you can see the imperfections, although it looks really pixelated right here. Let's see. I have no artistic ability, which is why I get the urge. Well, I mean, yeah, that's how this game started. It was part of a student game development group in college, and we always said that we have amazing artists, but they have difficulty keeping up with demand, so we need to make a game that doesn't take any art, basically. And that turned into this, because how do you make a text-based adventure fun is, well, you make everything in the world text. But yeah, I think water, if it's a little hard to see, but I think it actually has some slight waves in it. It's just very, very hard to see in this lighting. But okay, so use, I think, looks pretty good. To see a list of verbs, type V. Yeah, I think having this in here will help people. Because the main problem is that people type use when they don't know what to say specifically. So by telling them that they can type V, hopefully we'll address that problem. I probably need to come up with a better way of showing all of these verbs, because they're like really, really taking up all the space that's possible right now. And yeah, if you like writing text-based adventures, guess what? I am also working on a custom text-based adventure tool for this game, so you'll be able to make your own text-based adventures. Because I'm clearly an insane person who has no idea what scope is. But yeah, let me grab my notebook real quick. And let's see, what other things can I do that are pretty nice and easy? Fixed the loading screen stuff. Lock scepter thinks there's no verbs. That's a parser problem, I think. Actually, yeah, we can test that. We're gonna do some minor parser tests right now. We need a slap action. I want the ability. Well, I mean, you can hit everything. Slap is, I believe, slap is already in there. Yeah, you can slap a key, slap whatever you want. So this is built in Unity. For the rendering, it's just a solid mesh. Let me go ahead and pause. I'll show you that. So they're just they're basically really flat surfaces with textures on them. Yeah, let me find a more visual wall, because this is apparently very tough. Oh yeah, and Unity's new shader is not fun to work with, because it highlights everything. So yeah, they're just basically, I bet I'm selecting the UI. I am totally selecting the UI, freaking UI. So they're just meshes with textures on them. And yeah, if I placed individual blocks, it would have gotten a little, I think, intense. But there are actual rules that I have for the levels. I have to use basically straight surfaces, straight flat surfaces, and I use the normal maps to give it sort of a sense of depth. You can see that it looks like the light, or there's a sort of a jutting out with the mortar, where I guess the mortar is in, and then the blocks are actually facing a little bit further out. I can't use height maps because with this aesthetic, it just makes it look weird. But fortunately, the normal maps seem to give it enough of a pull that it's actually good to look at. Um, no, I'm not. Yeah, I can't do that. I feel like that would just be way too intensive. Um, anyway, I'm going to go up here because I'm going to grab the scepter. I have some bizarre use cases that I found. Oh, did I already? Okay, it's open. Okay, I guess take all. All right. If I try lock scepter, interesting. Is lock not a verb? Did I not make lock a verb? Surely I did. It's the only reason that I can think that it wouldn't think there's a verb there, though. Lock's totally a noun and verb. Interesting. So that, let's go to our parser for this. And we'll stop playing because otherwise it's going to take forever. Yeah, there's a limit to my insanity. Oh, hold on. I just stopped playing, so I can't type. Although, you know what would be really, really funny? Is if I gave Nightbot a list of verbs that could happen when you did that. Ah, that would be really funny. I should do that after the stream today. Yeah, I hate this bug. I hate that. There's something in my project that makes stopping playing, I don't know how to phrase that any better, trying to stop playing, it takes like 20 seconds. I don't know why. It's been happening for months now, and there's no error, there's no, I don't know. Yeah, when that's done, there we go. I can actually type V again. Oh, hey! Unity crash! Hooray! Let's hope that that doesn't cause a re-import, because that would be annoying. Yeah, trying to stop playing. Yeah, I don't know. Like stopping playing is two ing words, and that's super awkward to the human ear, or at least it is to me. And I also don't think it's correct grammar. Stopping playing. He was stopping him from. Yeah, I don't know. In any case, well, while that's going on, we can deal with the parser stuff. Let's see here. So, what I tried with the scepter there, I typed lock scepter, which should have been interpreted as trying to lock the scepter. But it detected that there were two nouns, and that's fine because lock is technically a noun and a verb. But what should have happened is it should have said, okay, the sentence is lock scepter. Are there any pure verbs? No. Are there any partial verbs? Yes, lock, but it doesn't seem like it got that far. So let's see, we're going to go up to receive input, blah, 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 set multiple sentences, go to definition. Let's see, this is all of the fun stuff. There should be a check verbs, verbs entities, check commands, validate sentence. Here we go, set verb. Go to definition, setting verb. Actually, you know what? I'm going to just go ahead and debug. Here we are. Set debug to be true, and then we'll try it out. This is why I really should re-implement my my console so that I can do this stuff in game with just debug mode. But I got to redo the console. It was done with a cheap asset from the asset store, and I need a better one. Because the one I was using was depreciated, and it just kind of disappeared. So, and it wasn't super fun. So, let's continue. So you wanted me to type V? these are all of the verb types in the game. And I've tried to pair them up with their equivalents across the aisle. So you can take objects, you can drop objects, you can equip objects, you can unequip objects. You can wave objects, which I probably should change that because waving is meant to be like actually waving an object. And yeah, lock is actually there, but it seems like it's not interpreting lock correctly. It's the same situation as you would get if you typed light, because light is a verb. You're trying to light something, and light is also a noun, as in you are trying to light a light. But it seems like our verb stuff is not getting through here, so let's actually check our parser. Sentence output is, let's see, sentence output is, there were no verbs, validating sentence. Okay, we might have to turn on robust debugging. That will give us far more information. Scroll down here. Sentence output is set multiple sentences. I'm guessing that it's just not detecting the partial verbs like it should. Check commands. Let's see, there were too many verbs, too many nouns, there were no verbs, and if verbs is equal to 0. So I guess that makes sense. We don't get past validating sentence. So here we go. Yep, this is the problem. Yep, right here. So we're checking to see if a word type is exactly a verb, so we're looking for pure verbs, but we're not looking for partial verbs, so I need to handle that. So let's see here. So we're going to say, so if verbs is equal to null, we're going to do another for each loop, or another for loop, I guess. And we're just going to do this. For loop. And then we're going to say if verbs is equal to 0, then we will output that as expected. Otherwise, we're just going to say, grab this. Grab this. So instead of saying if it's equal to verb type, we're going to say dot contains verb. This is, so the word type is actually a bit mask, so it can be any number of things. Specifically for words like light or lock, where they can be verbs and nouns. So if that's the case, then we're going to say verbs plus plus. All right. I think that will do it. Guessing. Let's see. Verbs. Verb is speak. Verbs greater than 1. Yeah. Okay. I think that's fine. And of course, now that I've added that to the parser, I'm going to be paranoid forever. So it's similar to flags. I have my own custom bitmask class that handles basically what flags do, kind of. Verbs are also, so word types are bitmasks, as are verbs. So a word can be multiple verb types if necessary. Actually, let me see if I can find an example. I know they exist. Insert is combine and insert, for example. Grab can be both take and equip. Go can be climb, enter, or exit, all that sort of thing. They're all, it's a verb, but it can be any of those verb types. And then it will basically, when you use that verb, or when you use that word, it's going to look at the object and say which of these verb types is the most likely one that's wanted. And then it will behave accordingly. This loops remind me of the horrible time I had to code. Dijkstra's algorithm for Unity this year. I still have nightmares. Yeah, I really don't like doing nested for loops like that, but there's not really a way around that when you're trying to parse. Especially because you have to you have to allow for words like pick up, which are two words technically, and pick up isn't always going to be like pick up the key. Sometimes you're going to say pick the key up, and that should mean the same thing. So I have to do this like really weird forward and backward search through a lot of this of the sentence for what your actual meaning is. I'm sorry, I'm terrible. I already told you that my name I'm bad with names. What more do you want from me? All right, I probably can try lock key. Good, I can't do that. That's what I wanted. I wanted to not be able to do that. Take all lock staff. Yay! Now if I lock a lock. I don't see a lock around here. Dystra? Okay. The K is silent. Sorry. Dystra. Okay. I am quite terrible with names. Which is why I learned a skill very early on how not to talk to people with or how to talk to people without mentioning their names. I've gotten very good about doing that. In any case, so if I type lock door, okay, I can't do that. That's good. And if I type unlock lock, yes. All right, so that works. So hooray, we fixed a oversight in the parser. That's good. And then if we do stuff like light, I don't see a light around here. Good, good, good. All right. Yeah. Let's see if I can get one more bug fix out today. See, combat fade in, still broken in builds. That is both underscored and circled, and we can't do that on the Devstream. Troll mover broken. Oh no, I fixed that. Sewer valves state their position, all that stuff. Double damage. Unlock door throws an error on sewer door. Okay, let's look at that. And hooray, we already have robust logging on, so that'll be fun. Start. Run through here. There was another weird issue. God, my computer monitor is freaking out. It's flickering. Oh, actually, before I test. Good. Okay. Just making sure that the troll save state was correctly updated. So when you talk to the troll and ask him to move, he'll move. And then if you ask him to move while he's already moved, he'll just say like, or he'll tilt his head and look at you weird. I'm gonna open. Oh, this is another thing I want to try. Go up. That's something that is, I think, an issue with the ladder specifically, or the climbable object class. Because go up should work, and at one point it did. But I apparently need a drink. But for some reason now it doesn't. So, but I can just type climb. So I'm going to say unlock door. Okay, good. We have a null reference there. I'm assuming that means that it cached the object wrong. If require item and verb requires items.count is greater than 0, and not verb requires item. Ah! Okay. Let's see. That is just a little bit of an error in my logic, actually. So it's trying to use the door as an item, but the door is not an item. So it's trying to get its item ID, but it can't. Let's see. In that case, okay, so that's just a weird edge case that's happening, basically. What do I want to do in that case? Probably just I'm going to say, wait, that doesn't make sense because require item should be null in that case. I can explicitly say it's not equal null. But then why are we getting this far down? Because it should be impossible for it. So what's happening here is, oh crap, I didn't stop playing. What's happening here is we have an initial sentence unlock. Since we don't specify a noun, it assumes the noun is the thing you're interacting with, which is the door. So therefore, our cached information becomes the cache verb is unlock, the cache subject is door. And then when I say unlock door a second time, door becomes the indirect object of the first sentence, unlock door. So it becomes unlock door with door. But the door is not an item, and it does not derive from item because it is just a base interactive. Well, it's a door, which derives directly from indirect object. So this rec item dot item ID is going to be null forever. But what's really weird is that it shouldn't even get this far. It should just see this first require item is not equal null and then break out of there. So that's super weird. And actually, that might not even be the thing that I want. Oh, I know what it is. It's because it's doing this or statement there. Yep. I didn't even think about that. So it's doing this and then or. And this is why I like to wrap everything. So I guess what I should say here is I should have a check for if it's null. Yeah, exactly. This is the exact reason why I usually use parentheses to wrap everything. I guess I just didn't here. So yeah, I might actually have just another check right here that says if rec item is equal to null. Geez, that is super. See, that's the thing is I can't just say if the required item is null, then do something because I actually have to include it as part of this massive statement. So if require item is null or is not equal to null and require items count is 0, hold on. Or if the verb require items don't count as greater than 0 and not verb requires item. Right. I forgot I did this weird thing here. An object ID. Oh, I completely forgot about that. Yeah, that's great. Hold on. Is it just ID? Yeah, it is. Oh no. Hold on. I'm gonna go to the item class real quick. Item ID is equal to none. Object ID is returning item ID. Good. Okay. Then this should fix it, I think. I think. Because by default, object ID is going to be null, I believe. Or it's going to be nothing. Where's my interactive object? Where is my interactive object? Interactive object. Oh, I'm already in it. Okay. Let's go up here then. Name, model, cache inventory, object ID. Should be a getter, right? Here it is. Return object ID, which is going to be set to object ID.none. Okay. So I think I need to just have a. Oh no, it's still gonna break, isn't it? Is indirect object interactive object? It is. Okay. Then I'm going to instead change this to. I guess just get rid of this. All right. I'm actually going to move this into here. And I'm going to change this. I'm going to replace this with that. There. I think that should work. All right. I don't need to use another if. And I think what we should do now is I need to have one more safety check, which is oh man, I don't even think I can actually use this. I think this is just always going to have to be the object ID. RI get item checked failure. I don't even remember what this thing does. Peak default item check verb to string get article. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, let's just do this. So I'm gonna just replace these guys with object ID, or I'm sorry, ID, because the base ID class here is actually an object ID, which item ID overrides. Oh man, I forgot how messy this system was. Okay, I'm gonna try this. I think this will work. Yeah, the interactive object system is like the parser. It was part of the first things that I wrote, and that was back when I was first starting out as a programmer. So it's all terrible, and anytime I have to work with it, I'm filled with dread, just because of how terrible it is. Mostly because of weird edge cases like that. Because again, it's not like the functionality is doing something unexpected in the sense that you type a common phrase and get something stupid, but it's clearly not what we want. Just because it's an edge case, an edge case, and I need to try and catch those. Because if even one person runs into it and then it's terrible for them, that's a ruined game experience for someone, and that hurts. So, all right, let's try this. Unlock. Lock door. It's not ideal. Yeah. Yeah, so what logically should happen here, I'm going to mute the audio again, is actually when this goes back through the parser, this is a full sentence technically. Unlock door is it has a noun and a verb, and that should actually have it reset its cached information. Oh jeez, that just gets so messy. Okay. I mean, it seems to work, and this will now handle using non-item situations. So, I mean, I could have done something like this: unlock with self, and oh no, I lied. I'm sorry. I would have unlock and then unlock self. Yeah. Parser. I tell you all that I hate getting into the parser, and then what do? We get into the parser. So let's stop playing. Let's get rid of these objects. I don't need that check anymore. So no, the door is locked. But that's actually irrelevant. It just so happens that the thing that caught my attention was someone typed unlock, then unlock door, and that exposed an error or an oversight in my parser. So once it's done trying to stop playing, I'll show you what it's doing basically. Because the door is locked, and if you try to open a locked door, it's just going to say the door is locked. In any case, so we need to go up here to parser. And God, this whole thing. This is a massive chunk of code that I don't think we need anymore. Yeah, let's get rid of that. Yeah, the parser I actually have a fair amount of comments in because even I would get lost in it after a while. Not sure if we'll be able to fix this tonight. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, Coolware. Coolware. I'll get it one of these days. I swear. But yeah, thanks for stopping by. It's always good to talk. Let's go ahead and start. Continue. So I'll show you what the door does when it. I think one of these days I'm just gonna have to get phonetics, type it out, and then say what I think it is, and then if you confirm it, I'll be able to know the phonetics of it, like the actual phonetics spelled out. In any case, so if I type open, the door is locked. I have a key, and I can just type unlock with key, and then I can open it, and it's fine. But the parser itself is apparently just not behaving as I would expect, and that's bad. My measurement for failure with the parser is if anyone notices the parser, then something's gone wrong. Unless they're a developer and they notice the parser and they want to ask about it. But, most people aren't going to do that. Most people, they only notice the parser when it messes up. And then they're like, oh, this is terrible. Okay. So set verb, sentence. And actually, I think what's going to happen is, I got to wait for it to stop playing. We're going to clear this, and I'm going to not maximize on play. We're going to keep an eye on the console. Well, I think the reason that, beyond the fact that a parser is just difficult to code, it's that if anything goes wrong with the parser, then it's immediately apparent, and people get frustrated because every mechanic is dependent on the parser. So I'm going to come up here. Do I still have my key? Yep. Okay, good. We're gonna take a look at the console to see what it's logging out when we do unlock, then unlock door. Because my guess is that it's getting flagged to only really care about the indirect object, and because of that, it's skipping a bunch of stuff. Okay, so let's clear this. We're gonna do unlock. Oh man, robust locking is really just the worst. Yeah, so it's looking for IO, which is indirect object. So now if we type unlock door, let's see. Sends output, what would you like to unlock the door with? Where is setting IO only to true? Okay, so that's where the last sentence ended, unlock. So we go through checking homages, receiving input, unlock door, resetting parser, setting cutscenes, setting sentences, setting conjunctions. Conjunction counts 1. Number of sentences, there's only 1. No joint words, no obscenities, no commands, validating the sentence, setting the verb. Verb has been set to unlock. Validating conversation, setting determiner, no determiner, setting quantity. Quantity is set to 1. Direction. IO only. This is the problem. See. Okay. Jeez. I think I might know what to do to get around this. So we're going to come up here. Oh, okay, we're going to have to look at it this way. So we're setting the verb, and we're doing verb has been set to unlock. So let's see. Setting verb. Verb, all this fun stuff. Okay. If sentence verb is equal to null and cache verb is not equal null, then we're going to do that. So I think what I need to do here is if we set the verb, then I need to set indirect object only to be false. That way we don't use the next noun to be indirect object. I finally settled on using a dictionary to store commands, verbs, and then I just code each command as a class. So unlock would be its own class that knows how to handle the rest of the sentence. Yeah, the problem is that I took... So multiple words can mean the same thing, and multiple words can mean multiple things. So I needed to have an arbitrary approach because with the way my system works, the actual string you type is pretty much insignificant. All that matters is your intent. Um, Now, the intent is tied to the word, but at the end of the day, the word itself, in the grand scheme of things, is irrelevant. Because if you want to pick something up, you can say pick up, take, grab, get. All of those mean the same thing, which is the verb take. So I tried to avoid like only allowing specific letter or specific strings, and instead focused on having a parser that understood intent. And that made it, much more of a headache for me. But it's it's more robust is the thing, and that's the thing I'm aiming for. I want to make a traditionally unintuitive game or unintuitive genre, and make it intuitive and fun for players who don't have the patience for that anymore. And it works really well from what I've seen at conventions. Like kids love this game, and it's not necessarily a kids game, but kids love it because it's actually fun for them to try and figure out what to do. And it's not just constantly like beating them down, being like, you haven't used the right verb or the right noun or the right spelling. In any case, so if sends verb is null. Okay. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say, can I get away with just an if here? If sentence dot verb does not equal null. I guess actually I'll do this. And or indirect object only. Then I'm going to say indirect object only is equal to false. I think that will work. So if I don't have this single if here, I would have to put it here in the possible verbs count, and then here if the verbs count is greater than or equal or is greater than 0, and the sentence verb is equal to what? Oh, right. Never mind. Yeah. So I think this will work because I'm just checking to make sure that the verb has been set. So let's give that a shot to see if it'll work. And I don't anticipate that breaking any functionality that already exists, because all I'm doing is just resetting the sentence to not listen for an indirect object only if you type a verb again. Because it shouldn't actually matter. So if I type unlock, then unlock with key, unlock with key becomes a brand new sentence, at which point, because of the structure of the sentence, it's going to say, okay, this is a new sentence. The subject is not specified, but with is a preposition pointing to key, which means that the subject has to be the door that you're interacting with. So let's go ahead. God, those errors always freak me out. By the way, these errors that you see, they are not errors with my code. They are errors with the built-in Unity handling for substances, and they don't do anything. They are just errors that scare you, but they don't actually break anything. I still hate them, though. My other approach was to use a rules engine to parse intent. Yeah, and that's, yep. It is a lot more work, I can tell you that. But at the end of the day, it's definitely worth it. It's just, as you can see, I get really nervous whenever I do have to mess with the parser. Unlock door. Come on. Yes! Okay, now we try unlock with door. No! That's not good. Dang it. What would you like to unlock the door with? Okay. Okay. It's getting a little late here, and the stream's been going on for like 3 hours now. I am going to put a to-do here. Need to reset sentence when listen for indirect object but passing verb. Yeah, so I'm guessing that it. Oh, I guess we could check the debug log. Yeah. Hold on, here we go. Direct object, null. Interesting. So it seems like our indirect object just didn't get set that last time. So we'll pick this up, or I'll try to pick it up and fix it over the weekend. But, yeah, well, I mean, it's such a weird concept, right? Like I call it first-person text-based adventure because that's a weird thing to say, and then the moment you see it, it's like, oh yeah, I get it now. Um, but yay, someone subscribed. I still don't have the visual pop-up for some reason, but I hear the noise. Um, in any case, well, I'm glad that it's interesting to you. There are not a lot of people who are super interested in text-based adventure games, and it makes me very happy when people show interest. So that's a pretty good place to stop for the night. We got a lot of bug fixes in there. Fixed basically, I think, all of the issues I had with the loading screen, and fixed some of the weird background fade stuff. So, yeah, the next step is just fixing some of those weird edge cases with the parser, and I think we'll actually be in a pretty good spot. So, as always, I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all next time.